morning, Astro.
Good morning, Lisa.
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa Lacan. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex.
Hello. You have entered the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. Welcome. Oh my goodness, tonight we have a wonderful show. We're talking about Copycat Chronicles Part 2. If you did not get a chance to see Part 1, definitely take a look. YouTube is on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Samsung, Amazon Podcast, all of my audio podcast platforms, that's where they are, and on YouTube as well as Facebook. So we are back this week with Part 2 on how to avoid. How do you avoid plagiarizing? It can be very simple. But before we begin, I want you all to realize that Saturday I popped in, and I normally don't pop in and out unless there's breaking news. So Saturday I discussed about the death of Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey, who died by suicide. She was a senior or the VP of Student Affairs at Lincoln University, Missouri. And I talked about her situation from a mental health perspective, from a bullying perspective. If you want more information about that, please check it out on my YouTube page. And it's Bullied: The Tragic Death of Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey. So we will be right back in the Urban Suite. We have a word from our sponsor, Bless Ministries. Yes, I'm talking. Yes, what?
No, but you forgot.
What I forget?
Facebook.
What?
Yes, the comments you got on Facebook because of that story.
Oh, so yes. Okay. So I asked a question about the president, because the president of Lincoln University, Missouri is a white gentleman. He's a white guy. So the question I asked, and I still pose that out to you, my urbanites, do you think a white person can be effective as a president at an HBCU? And so far it's been 50-50. Someone said, yes, it depends on the amount of experience, their cultural competency, and someone just flat out said no. And then someone else was like, well, I don't know. There is like a slippery slope. So, it's still out there. I'm still collecting information to see what you think. If a white person can be president of an HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College and University. So that was the question. Thank you, Curtis, because I was in my little thing. And also today is my Founders Day. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, founded on the campus of Howard University. Oh my goodness. 1920, January the 16th, only five. Okay. And we have been first with so many, first to charter in Africa, first and the only ones to have and to be constitutionally bound, first to charter in Dubai. So many firsts. And the incredible thing is, we don't have very long lines. We don't have lines of 70. We don't have lines of 60. We have lines of 10, 20, 16. So we have to put in more of the work. because there's less of us, but I love my organization. So shout out to my Soras of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor, Blessed Ministries Incorporated, as well as our missing person for the week. All right, so this is our missing person segment, and we do this segment every Tuesday, 7 p.m. when I come on live, and tonight is no exception. So who do we have tonight? We have Miss Harmony Barnes. She's been missing since December the 29th, 2023 from Washington, D.C. Listen, I got my bell. My hometown, my Washingtonians, I need you to look at her picture. I need you to share this information. She is only 14 years old. She is still missing. Here it is, January the 16th, 2024, and she's 14 years old. She's been missing since December the 29th, 2023 from Washington, D.C. She's a female. Her race is Black. Her complexion is dark. She's 5'5". She's 125 pounds. Her hair color is black. Her hair length is shoulder length, and her eye color is brown. This is her location last seen. Harmony was last seen on Friday, December the 29th, 2023 in the 1200 block of 7th Street Northwest. Now, the circumstances surrounding her disappearance is unknown, so we don't know at this point in time, but anyone with information, please contact the Metropolitan Police Department, and that telephone number is area code 202-727-9099. I'm going to repeat that for my audio platform, Urbanites. That would be Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. What else? Spotify, Amazon. I'm on iHeartRadio,
Google, Android,
all of those platforms. I'm going to repeat that number because you can't see what I am looking at. You can't see the screen. That number is area code 202-727-9099. Or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporation. That's BAMFI. And that number is 877-97-BAMFI, which translates into 22634. I'm going to repeat that number again. 202 is the number of the Metropolitan Police Department, 727-9099, and BAMFI is 877-97-BAMFI, which is 22634. Listen, let's bring 14-year-old Harmony Barnes home. I need you all to share this information. Hit that share button. I need you to like so that the algorithms can go up, 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 so more people can find Harmony Barnes. 14 years old. I cannot imagine. This is someone's child. This is someone's loved one. 14 years old. So let's bring her home. All right. So Last week, I talked about plagiarizing and plagiarism and what exactly is it? It was called Copycat Chronicles Part 1. And then I got into 5 reasons why people plagiarize. Now, there could be more, but those are the 5 I got. I received 4 from Chat GPT, and the last one, number 5, I thought about it. That's why I thought people plagiarize, because they fear, perhaps they think they're not going to get caught. So let's bring up the definition of plagiarism. So it's the practice. This is the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as your own. It's called thievery, right? Isn't that sort of like what a thief does when you think about it? When you think about the concept of what a thief does, a thief takes something that does not belong to them and they pretend that it's their own. So even when our car was stolen from the driveway, they pretended that it was their own, or that we had given them permission to drive. See, now the difference between a valet parker and a thief is when you go to a restaurant, you hand over your key. Okay, you hand over your key, signaling you're giving them permission to get in the driver's seat to drive your car to a parking spot, right? But a thief steals your key. Actually, a thief didn't even steal our key, but a thief, in a sense, steals your key, steals your vehicle. They don't tell you, and they drive around town as if it's their own vehicle. So plagiarizing, the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. That's from Oxford Dictionary. So you see how I made that reference right there, Oxford Dictionary? Dr. Lisa didn't come up with that definition. So say, for instance, if I presented you with that definition and I said, that's from Dr. Lisa, that is actually plagiarizing. All right, so let's look at the root of what the word means. The term plagiarism originates from the Latin word plagium, which means, get this, kidnapping. You're kidnapping someone's work. You're kidnapping someone's property. You're taking into possession something that doesn't belong to you and you didn't get permission to do so. That's the key word. You did not get permission. And then you are taking it on as your own. Isn't that something? Thus, plagiarism, put that back up. Thus, plagiarism is a serious crime. And many people don't think about it as a serious crime, a violation, especially in modern society, with this emphasis on ideas and creativity. And that's from the National Institute of Health, NIH. All right, so getting into some of the reasons, I discussed 5 reasons why people may plagiarize. Number 1, lack of time management. Number 2, fear of failure. Number 3, lack necessary skills. Number 4, ignorant of academic integrity. And number 5, you believe that you're not going to get caught. So tonight we're talking about how to avoid it. How do you avoid plagiarizing? So the simple answer is, I'm going to go through all 5, but the simple answer is don't do it. Just don't do it. You know when you are plagiarizing something, just like you know when you're stealing something. You know, when you are taking someone else's property without permission and you're claiming it as your own, you know that. You know that. But why do you do it? Do you know a lot of criminal activity happens at night? And why? Why? Because you don't want to be found out, because you're doing something deceitful. So when it comes to plagiarizing, you know that that's not your material. You know that you're copying it from someone else and claiming it as your own. So, in short, don't do it. However, I will go through the 5 so I can break down each one. So Dr. Lisa won't be mean and cruel. And she just said, just don't do it. All right. So, number 1, lack of time management. Why do we not manage our time correctly? Couple of reasons. Number 1, we may believe that what is presented to us isn't urgent enough. Number 2, and if it's not urgent enough, we lack the motivation to engage in that activity. Number 3, we don't really know how to organize our time. So if you come across something and you have an assignment, it's sort of like I write grants. So there's a grant that's due tomorrow, the 17th, but I turned it in on Saturday, this past Saturday, early in the morning, because I know how to manage my time. So what I did was, as soon as I caught wind of when it was due, I set aside maybe 20, 30 minutes, an hour a day back in December, way before, to start compiling information, to start writing. Because I knew, number 1, the holiday was coming up. I knew family would be here. I knew I would go to see family. So what I did in my mind, I said, okay, let me look at the timeline I have and what I have to do on my schedule, and let me block out some time each day to engage in this activity. And oftentimes we procrastinate because we don't want to engage in an activity because it's not deemed urgent. It's not deemed as important, and we just don't like it. We don't like it. So if you have an assignment, the assignment is to write a paper, and you don't like writing a paper, you're going to dilly-dally, you're going to procrastinate, and it's going to look like you're lazy. You're going to procrastinate because it's not an urgent matter for you. However, let me ask you this. If someone said, I need you to write this paper, even though you don't like writing, but when you finish within that deadline, you're going to get, I don't care what you get on the paper, you're going to be rewarded $10,000. I almost guarantee that you would be within the time frame and within the deadline, because there's an incentive. Oftentimes as humans, we're motivated by incentives. What incentive am I going to get to do this activity, to engage in this behavior? Because I really don't want to do it, but I need to be motivated to do it because I'm really not internally ready to engage in this. So, time management, you have to carve out a certain amount of time each and every day. And you have to be honest with yourself to say, you know what? I can't stand doing this. I don't want to do it. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and do it. You just have to do it. Now, time management, that's a whole show. I'm not going to do that tonight because I have 4 other points to do. All right. So number 2 is fear of failure. Now, what exactly does that mean? It means you fear the consequences or the results of you turning in something. You fear perhaps rejection, that your writing isn't good enough. And because of that, you kidnap someone else's writing because their writing appears to be better than yours. So I talked about fear. I talked about fear in my bear approach, beliefs expected as reality. You have these thoughts that you expect to come to pass. It's your beliefs expected as reality. And in that fear, you have 3 different data points. Historical data mean something happened to you personally. So say, for instance, perhaps you did write a paper, or perhaps you did something and it was disastrous. Perhaps you got an F and you're like, oh my gosh, that has scarred me. That's historical data. So because of that F, you're going to be afraid and fearful to engage in that activity again because you don't want to get an F. And then the second one is witnessed data. So say, for instance, you had a roommate and your roommate had a paper and you helped your roommate write the paper. And the paper, when it came back, it said it was horrible. Now, you didn't actually do the paper, and you told your roommate that the paper sounded good, it was fantastic, but then your roommate actually got a D. So now you're like apprehensive because you witnessed something happen to someone else that was like, oh my gosh, I must not be a good writer because Tammy got a D, and I kind of helped Tammy in that. And then hearsay data is you heard about someone that failed, and basically you heard that they did all the right things. They did. And because of that, now you are like apprehensive with regard to engaging in that behavior because you heard something or you saw something, whether it's the news or whatever. And it was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to engage in this activity because I know what's going to happen. If it happened to that person all the way in Thailand or wherever that land is or whatever, it's going to happen to me. And because of that, you fear doing what you need to do. And this is what I talk about in the bear approach, the bear effect, your beliefs expected as reality. Fear. So with fear, how do you overcome fear? A couple of ways. One, exposure therapy is fear. Psychotherapy, really processing how to get through something, exposing yourself to it. And oftentimes, if it's a paper, you have to do it and you need support. So if you need supports, if you need assistance, get the help that you need. All right. Number 3, lack of necessary skills, meaning you may not inherently have the skill set to complete the assignment. Now, if you don't have the skill set, what you need to do is be honest with yourself, be honest with the person who may be providing you with the task or whatever. And then if you don't have the skill set, ask for assistance. Say, you know what? I never knew how to do this. I'm not sure. Is there a tutor? Is there someone that can assist me with this? Let me tell you. And I told someone this. I would rather write 10 dissertations than, what do you call it in that Microsoft Word where you have to put everything in order and the layout, and what is that called?
Like PowerPoint stuff?
No, not the PowerPoint, but it's you know how you have to do the paragraphs and the indent and
Okay, like the design of it. Like you're talking about like the design
I
part.
can't stand that. Give me 10 dissertations to write, but don't have me do the
Doing
paper,
layout.
the layout, the graphs, the little writing in the, oh no, oh no. No. I needed assistance with that for my dissertation because it had to be so specific. Like everything had to, no, that's not, no. Nope, 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 nope. I can't. In Microsoft Word, sometimes if you backspace, then it changes
Yeah.
the whole margins.
It's not friendly like that. Yeah.
It's not friendly like that, and that is not my skill set. So, you
So how do
know,
you fix that? Like, so you get assistance and
yeah, I paid someone to do that, to make certain that everything was according within the margins and an editor.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do it. I can write a dissertation. Like I said, I would write 10 dissertations rather than do the formatting. I can't stand
formatting. Yeah, but that's just like an author. Like an author can write a whole book, but they still need an editor and a designer and all that stuff. You know,
right? That is not that's not my skill set. Formatting.
Yeah.
That's not my skill set. So I know my limitations. My limitation is formatting according to the standard. You know, because you have like these graphs and you know
Well, there's
the
certain point size.
Yeah, right.
Be a certain portion over. Citations are supposed to be a certain size.
Right, and the indenting and all that, and then the spacing and oh my gosh, I said, nope. So that was my limitation. That is not my strong skill set, and I knew that, and I know that going in. Now I'm a little, better with it, but it still irritates me when I format, and it's like, oh my gosh, So yes, so lack the necessary skills. If you lack the necessary skills, be honest with yourself. Be honest with, if it's a team environment that you're working within, if it's your professor, whatever. Just let someone know, you know what, this is not my strong point right here, and I need assistance doing this. You have to be honest, because what you will do is, in a situation like this, you would take someone else's material because you're spending all this time trying to format the material that you have now, and your deadline is slowly approaching. And then what's going to happen? Then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to fill up my 8 pages. I'm going to get someone else's material. And then sometimes when you copy and paste, it's already kind of formatted depending on what you copy and paste from. So definitely just be honest. All right. And then the next one is ignorant of academic integrity. Any university that is deemed to be, prestigious or whatever, every university should have a code of ethics. Every school should have a code of ethics that is readily available on the website. And then also when you get your syllabus, some syllabi have it, some don't, but they have the code of ethics for that class. So if you need assistance with, what type of reference, like say for instance, APA, some schools use different type of tools for references and citations. It is up to you to be aware of what tool the school uses, what edition the school is on, and what is the policy surrounding it. Because the school is very helpful. I mean, there was one school, is it Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin? It may be Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin. They have a very good web page, a website, and it is, I think, talking about dissertations or whatever.
But in that book, isn't that going to be like the book that you have that
yeah, let me get that book. Yep.
Isn't that going to be like the general rules for everybody, kind of like? Isn't that going to be like?
Yes.
If you go by that, you can't go wrong, can you? Or
Well, yes and no. Some schools, some of them they don't use APA. So
Okay.
they're different variations. I don't know all of the
Depending on the
variations.
field. Yeah.
Right. So some schools may not use the APA. Some majors may not use APA. So you have to understand what your field is, your major, your school. Every school, every department should have standard. But this one right here is very good. Very, very good. And I have to say, you know what? Because this is such a good thing, the 7th edition, this manual, if a student, listen, if you are a student and you're in university or you're getting ready to go to university and you are accepted, I'm going to gift you this book, because this book right here is fantastic. I'm going to gift you this book if you are a student, and you can email urban2sforchange@gmail.com. That is urban2sforchange@gmail.com. And I'm going to spell that out. URBANTOOLS, urban2s4FOR change, CHANGE@gmail.com. So if you are a student, the first student that contacts me, but you have to show me that you're either in school, official transcript, something, or that you're getting ready to go to school, you got acceptance letters or whatever. But I'm gonna, because this is very important. Very important, very important. This is the APA 7th edition, the publication manual. It's the American Psychological Association. And basically it has everything in here, how to cite properly so you will not plagiarize. All right. So this is the big one. Belief in not getting caught. So I'm going to say something. All of us are sinners. Every single one of us are sinners. I can't think of a person, including myself, that has never told a lie. Can't think of one. So when you engage in this behavior, there's something, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. So when you engage in this behavior, and especially when you know you're doing something wrong, if you knew you were going to get caught, and this is what I asked last week, if you knew you were going to get caught, would you engage in the behavior? So if you knew you were going to get caught robbing the bank, would you engage? If you knew you were going to get caught stealing someone's car, would you engage in the behavior? These are questions that you have to answer for yourself. But for the most part, I would say 99.5% of the time, you would not engage in any deviant behavior if you knew 100% of the time that you were going to get caught. And this is where good fear comes in, reverential fear, where you respect policies, you respect the law, and you fear the negative consequences of being caught. So think about this. With modern day technology, if you engage in this behavior of plagiarizing, 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, you're going to get caught. AI tools are out there. Tools like, Turnitin. They run your papers through. People have mobile devices. They have phones. They have cameras. They have audio, video. I mean, the things that are out here now, which will give evidence that you stole, it's amazing. It really is.
So in other words, you might as well just figure that you're going to get caught. You might as well just realize
you're going to get caught.
So you know, realize it.
Yeah, it's sort of like, you remember we did the 5 cops?
Yeah.
They didn't realize those cameras were everywhere.
No, they specifically took them to a location that they thought that there wasn't no camera. Like they took them in like a dark place. It's like, okay, let's take them over here. But they didn't know that sky cop was up there.
Oh my gosh. Had no idea. They got caught. And what did you say? They took them to a dark place. Why did they take them to a dark place?
Yeah, because they wanted to hide. They were trying to hide what they were doing in the dark.
Yes. Let's see. Let's see, Peace Mitchell is here. Hi, Peace Mitchell. How are you doing up there in the snow and stuff? I'm telling you, remember I did seasonal affective disorder. I hope you all are doing well up there. Oh, let's see. I think Jesse.
I think we doing it at the same time.
Okay.
Go ahead, do it again.
All right. So Jesse Burns, excellence. Oh, thank you. So yes, so those 5 cops engaged in the behavior, and you know what else they did? They reported.
Oh yeah,
they were someplace else.
After the fact, yeah.
Yes, that they were someplace else, not realizing that they were caught. I'm good. Dallas and Philly lost. Yes.
And you got your bell for that.
I got my bell for that. Yes. Yeah, they got caught. And they lied. They turned off their camera.
Mm-hmm.
3 things. They turned off their camera. Mm-hmm. They said that they were in a location where they weren't. And they took them to a seemingly dark location, but sky cop. You know, they did it right under the camera.
Yeah. Which was good that they did that though, because we never known. Yeah.
But that's how you know things happen. And I think even in that with the 5 cops, I really think that the gentleman, I forgot his name. I did a story on him. Yeah. I really think that he knew that camera was there because he was a delivery driver. Mm-hmm. And like I said, when I walk around town, I do strategically look for cameras. Mm-hmm. And I would tell my children, walk this way because there's a camera by the bank, walk that way, there's a street camera, walk, you know. But if you do it in this day and age, 9 times out of 10, that's a 90% chance you are going to get caught. Now, do you really want to take that chance?
Right. Now, see, the only thing is like there was a recent story that just came out too that relates a little bit to that doing things in the dark stuff and the fact that there wasn't cameras when they probably established this. But there was this jail in Alabama, and they found that there's a yard behind the jail. There was 215 bodies buried back there.
Oh, yeah. They call it Potter's Field.
Yeah, but nobody knew like why the people were back there. They was just putting people back there that they, you know, came up missing.
Right. So what they do is, because they have Potter's Field in a lot of cities. So if no one claims a body or no one has ID, that's why it's always important to carry ID on you. This woman was looking for her son for a couple of weeks and she didn't find him. And then what happened was a new investigator hooked up with the jail or whatever. And then that's when the story sort of collided. And she found out that her son was buried in this Potter's Field and that there were 200 and so bodies, unidentified bodies there, you know.
I think her son was killed by, or was, you know, alive by the police.
Right, was hit by a cop.
Yeah, like, so like they hit him and, you know, killed the son. And then they buried him in that thing. Now, I don't know if he didn't have ID on him or not, but it seemed like they was trying to hide.
Yeah, no, they said that he didn't have ID. He left home. He was upset with his mother. They had an argument. He left abruptly and he walked out the house without ID. What's done in the dark always comes to the light. Yeah. Yes, Raquel. Shout out to Raquel. Yes, it always comes out. It may not be 5 days, it may not be 5 years, it may not be 5 months, but it will come out, whether it's here or when you meet the Lord face to face. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. So that's that reverential fear of, you know what, getting caught. But people don't fear. I'm telling you, that's that barrier.
Yeah.
That barrier is having that reverential fear that, you know what, you're going to get caught.
But explain the phenomenon of the nowadays kids using social media to publicize their crimes. They be like, look what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I got this thing. And they on the camera showing themselves doing it.
I've seen a lot of that. And then at the end of the day, the authorities catch wind to them.
And
they end up serving time.
Yeah. But it's like, y'all didn't think about that when y'all were recording it? Like,
no, they did not. Their frontal lobe is not fully developed. Their way of thinking and logically is just not. They really believe that they're not going to get caught.
Because and with that, I mean, I might have to show you this. There was another story of a girl that was doing what amounts to financial fraud. She's showing people how to do it, showing how to get credit cards and then pay off the other credit card with another credit card, and then make it look like you need more credit because you got orders coming in and da-da. So she's showing the whole scam on the Instagram, and people are telling her, "Yo, that's fraud. You're gonna go to jail for that." You know, but she didn't know. She lacked the academic resources to know if that was a crime or not.
Right.
So she just went ahead and publicized it. But before you finish up, I wanted to take one break so then you can come back after that and talk about Astro and tell everybody who Astro is.
Yes, my new pet.
Okay.
Last week, working on stuff for my urbanites, my husband, he doesn't quite run, but he saunters in the room. And he looks a little dazed and confused. And he says, "Someone just stole our car." And I said, "What you talking about?"
"What you talking about, Willis?"
He said, "Someone just stole our car." It was sort of like, I couldn't believe it, which is a form of sort of like, what? I didn't know what he was saying. Like, what? The car? And he didn't believe it either, because you see that? Dr. Lisa is speaking a very shallow truth here. I want to have a good night's sleep, and I don't want extra wrinkles on my face. I refuse for those criminals that took my car to have me have extra wrinkles while they're joyriding in my car. Like, does that make sense? I can't allow two thieves to hijack my peace. I can't allow it.
Just stop. Just stop the car.
All right, so we are back in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan, and we are talking about Copycat Chronicles, Part 2, how to avoid plagiarizing. So last week I mentioned that we have a new pet. So you all know that my Mousy, he passed in May. And I said I'm going to do a story about pets and loss and whatever. So, you know, since Mouse died, I don't want another pet. I just don't. But my husband opted to get one. And I had no idea what this was, or I had no idea that he was even getting a pet. So our new pet is Astro. So my urbanites, meet Astro. That's our new pet, Astro. That's our new pet, Astro. Now, it's so interesting because Astro is through Amazon. So listen to this. In 2022, Amazon, I guess, approached my husband to see if he wanted this Astro because they're beta testing it. So it just came last month sometime. So I guess we're like, beta testing, and they're going to give us a survey to see if we like it, if we don't, what needs to be improved, and but it does your monitoring.
What's the benefits of having a robot dog?
Well, as opposed to a regular dog, you don't have to go out in cold weather to walk it. You don't have to feed it. You don't have to take it to a kennel. You don't have to take it to a vet.
You don't have to get shots.
There's no shots involved.
You have to clean up after him when you make a mess.
Clean up after you make a mess. There's no pet hair, no dander.
He ain't gonna tear up the couch.
Not gonna tear up the couch. Not gonna bite your shoes. But it doesn't have a soul, because let me tell you, last Saturday, and of course it wouldn't have a soul, as I was preparing for the show, I was getting very emotional. So Astro, he comes in and he just says, I'm hanging out, and it's on his screen. And then as he saw me getting emotional, he said, oh, it's time to leave now. And then he went back out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was terrible. That's terrible. But hold up. You're gonna hopefully you can train him to do better. You can train him.
Maybe. So this is what we have to write once they give us a survey. Like, I don't know. And then so our refrigerator has Alexa, but I don't like Alexa, and I don't like this Astro stuff, But then and then I said Astro in front of the refrigerator, and Alexa woke up and said, oh, Astro is my friend.
What? Oh, they might be teaming up against you. You better watch out.
I know, because that Astro is spending a lot of time in the kitchen.
Oh, no. Talking to your refrigerator?
Yes, I think they're doing so. I don't know what it is.
But Astro can give you the weather. Astro can talk to you.
Play music.
He could play music. He could tell jokes. You could be having Astro do stand up for you. You could do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, you can do like karaoke with Astro. Astro can bring you your drinks.
Oh yeah, he had little cup holders on.
Little cup holders, cup holders.
He can bring you wine and stuff.
Bring you wine, and he monitors the house, so it's like a monitoring system. You can do live, and he goes around, monitors the house like a security guard.
Well, security dog. Now he ain't gonna bite nobody. He ain't gonna be stopping too much, but.
Right.
Unless you put a taser on him. Maybe you could put a taser on him, attach it to him.
Raquel said, get out now before the revolution.
That's right. They're going to take over. They'll be like, hey, sorry, Lisa, we can't let you leave. We don't think you should leave today.
Lock the doors. Lock me in the house.
But would you want him to have like a little furry body? Would you put a little bit of fur on his back and stuff? You could pet him. So you could pet him like a little dog. No, you want to put him in your lap and pet him?
No.
What if they now you saying that right now, but what's to stop them from? They already have them little robot dogs that work security as like this, but all they do put the Astro personality in that kind of dog and put fur around it, and then you got a whole nother dog.
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm talking about those little things that they sent out with the security, like the ones that run around, those four-legged ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, even the cops have them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cops have those. But what if it wasn't like a security device, but more of a
like a companion.
A companion, and they put Astro's personality in it. Matter of fact, they could keep it a security dog still too.
Yeah, you can have two types of dogs.
When you walking around out in the hood or somewhere late at night, you wouldn't be scared if you had that thing with you, would you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Hey, I'm saying, well, in about 5 years, there's going to be a different version of Astro that's not going to look like that. And it's going to be
right. It's right. This is, like I said, this is first generation. So this is like the 8-track tape.
Yeah. So by the time they get to the CD and the MP3, you might be like, okay, Astro looks like a real dog. He gets up on the thing and cuddles, wiggles his tail and everything.
So yeah, that's our pet Astro. So, Astro keeps us company.
Yeah. Because remember you said when we discussed about the I don't know how else to say it, but the sex dolls, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
how real them things look. Why you think they can't do that with a dog?
Yeah, maybe.
Of course they could do that with a dog.
Yeah.
And people already
would have problems taking into a restaurant because it's not a real dog.
Right. And I've seen a couple of videos like that lately where either the restaurant refuses the person to come in with their security animal, or somebody that's already in the restaurant don't want to be in the same restaurant with a dog and stuff like that. Now, what do you think about that? Like, do you think a person, like, who has priority there? The restaurant, the patrons that are already in there, or the person with the security dog?
All right, that's a very good question. So the restaurant, because it's privately owned.
Right. Okay.
So if the restaurant were getting some type of government funding and a person came in like with a CNI dog, they would have to honor that. So, but a restaurant,
if it's private,
right?
They could deny you if you have certain type of shoes on, if you don't have a tie on.
Right.
Like, so a restaurant could technically deny you for any kind of reason, right?
Now, service dogs typically have service dogs typically have an indication that they are service dogs. Usually they have the little vest on or something like that. It's a different type of harness that they wear. Now, I know when I work with the blind community that the CNI dog, CNI is the dogs. They get the dogs from New Jersey and Morristown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All the dogs, I'm not going to say all, but I would say the majority of the dogs used for the blind come from the CNI in Morristown in New Jersey. Okay. And they raise them up as puppies. So what they do is if they have a companion, typically they will go in the restaurant, because sometimes you see the signs, no animals allowed, only service dogs or service.
Right, because that's different than a comfort pet, right? Like a comfort pet is different. That's not really sanctioned necessarily, right?
Right.
Because a comfort pet could be a snake or
a
raccoon or anything. It could be any kind of animal, mouse, rat. So now on to the other patrons that's there. What if the patron says, like, look, if you let that animal in here, I'm not paying my bill, I'm leaving. Do they?
They probably will, tell the person that wants to come in that they're not able to.
Okay. Like, do you think that they should have that right to say that?
I don't know. Like, it's up to the restaurant, it's up to the restaurant, because if the restaurant is very proactive with it, they may be open to it. And, but because it is a private entity, the restaurant cannot be forced to allow a person with an animal.
Yeah, because that was another video that was playing last week. A woman was real upset that, somebody was coming in the restaurant with a dog, and they're like, I'm not eating it. Like, I'm leaving if you let that person in here with the dog, because I don't eat around dogs and stuff.
Yeah, some people are allergic. Like, say, for instance,
somebody could be allergic.
Right, could be severely allergic to the dander. And, there are a lot of variables, so it's just, if you do, now, let me say this. If you do have a service dog and you want to go to a restaurant, it's best that you call and ask ahead of time to see what their policy is. Right. So, yeah. All right. So, yes. So also you can not only subscribe to this channel, but you can become a member. And the membership is, we have different levels, and 100% of what you sow into goes to Blessed Ministries Incorporated. So level 1 is sweet level 1. That's only $2.99 a month. And for your $2.99 a month, it 100% goes to Blessed Ministries. And then what you get with that is you get a Blessed Ministries bag. All right. And then suite number 2 is $6.99 a month. And with that, you get a bag and the book Seeking Science, written by Dr. Jennifer Payne Parrish, an autographed copy of her book. And then if you do the $24.99, what you get 3 backpacks as well as 3 books, and you can gift them to someone else. And I have to say, and I want to say, because we are sponsored by Blessed Ministries, which is a 501c3, everything that you send to us, 100% goes to Blessed Ministries to assist with our clients who may need workplace attire. They may need, interview clothes. They may need any other products, things like that. 100% of what you donate as a member goes to Blessed Ministries Incorporated. So definitely give back. It is so important. Give back, give back, give back. We are a premier workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey, and we put people to work through our training programs, as well as those that go directly to employment. We assist individuals with disabilities, whether they are young adults or whether they are adults. We assist people coming home from prison, the reentry population. We assist adults that are on probation, parole. So definitely, if you find it within your heart, if you believe that this platform has helped you or is helping you, please consider donating to Blessed Ministries Incorporated. That's $2.99 a month. That's only $36. It comes out of your credit card a month. $36 goes to Blessed Ministries, and $6.99 a month. That was 7 times 12, $84 a month. And then $24.99 a month goes to Blessed Ministries. And then you will have those gifts, the backpack, the little backpack for the $2.99, and then the backpack and the signed book, the autographed book by Dr. Jennifer Payne Parrish, Seeking Science. And then the $24.99, you have 3 bags and 3 books, and you can gift them to someone else. And you're doing a wonderful service for Blessed Ministries and for the community. So with that, I just want to say thank you, my urbanites and my folks in Australia. You're still rocking and rolling. I want to say thank you to Raquel Aiken. I want to say thank you to Jesse, Peace Mitchell, Felicia, all of my regular urbanites, Miss Cooper Nas. I want to say thank you for being with me. We are at 16,000 subscribers. And also, the show I did on Saturday, go to the YouTube channel, look at the comments. Those comments are very, very interesting. Yes, Bully, the tragic death of Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey, very interesting. And then I posed a question. Should a white person be president? And can they be an effective president of a historically Black college and university? That is a question that I have out there. And I just want to get your feedback. What do you think? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. So anyway, again, thank you for entering into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow. And on that note, Molly, who is my soror, happy Founders Day. Take us away.
Girl, thank Google.
I Googled my symptoms.
Never do that.
And I really would love to get that out of my brain.
I've seen it. It's disgusting.
Something about Elisa. There's something about Elisa.
Oh, Lisa.
I love that. Like, oh, dun, 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 dun. Yes. You have to be accountable for what you did.
Who, me? What? I regret nothing. The end.
Did I do something I shouldn't have done?
It's confusing.
What?
Am I missing something?
What the hell is going on? Like, I
do not understand.
What is this woman talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
I don't want a dissertation. I just want an apology.
I'm sorry you think you deserve an apology.
You deserve 2 flushes. Get out of here, Uncle Tina. Bye. All right, so now he's blaming the weed. This is the whole Shaggy thing. It wasn't me.
Bye.